So now we can go back one slide and go over this topic here, form loading. You can actually change the form that you're using on the fly by using the page script. This can be used to change a specific page within the document, or you can also decide how the document should look based on some condition or requirement. And to do this, you basically have this scripting function here called load form. So, say for instance, I wanted to maybe have the first page look different than the second page. One way of doing that would be using the form linking, but I'm going to use a different way to demonstrate this form load feature. I'm going to change the page setup. Okay, so this is already saved to file. TIFF. Okay. So I'm going to say load form. And I just need to find the form name. Let's say we use maybe check. Save this. And I'm just going to set a page setup. Basically, I just copied the form name that I want to use, and this is the form here. And I just want to set this to go to save to file, so that I can just demonstrate this. I'm going to use the attachment type of a TIFF, and just say OK. So save my script, and I'm going to save my form. I'm going to go back to my original form, and I believe that was this one. Oh. Let me close this. Okay, and I'm going to go to my data folder so I can see the results. I'm just going to delete some of this. I'm going to go make sure my script is in my form properties, and it is. So I'm going to say File, Print. Here you can see, even though the form that I printed from looked like a purchase order form with the ship to and bill to address, the form that was printed is the check. And this is because the script that I used said to load the form, and the form that I chose was a check form. You could then also set conditions. Maybe you could say if it's page 1, then use the cover page. Page 2, use a check form. Page 3, use an invoice. This is all depending on the scenario that you're trying to, or the workflow you're trying to create. So load form allows you to change the data or the image that's printed or created, as well as to determine where the document should go. Any questions about load form? Or this is pretty straightforward for everybody? Did I lose everybody?
No, I'm still here.
Okay. So I'm assuming everybody understands the idea of load form?
For the most part.
Yeah.
Okay. The next thing that we can look at is printer balancing. Some workflows that I've seen, you may have 3 printers or maybe more that you want to print to, but you want to balance the documents on them so that, you know, one printer doesn't get every print job. You want it to print to the one that has the least pending documents, I guess. So the printer balancing is actually a script. It first gathers a list of printers that you want to use from on your form. It then checks each printer to see which has the smallest amount of documents in its print queue. It then takes the printer's name and adds it to the top of a new data stream and creates this new file in the spooler directory for a second form to process it. And we're just going to walk through basically how this works. Let's see if there's a form for this. Here we go, load balancing. So here we can see, if you go to your designer and you open the load balancing form, if you selected the printer balancing option when you're installing your form, you should have this form as well as the script. And how this works is basically if you scroll over to the right side of your form, there's a few variables here that we can see are here. We first have, if you select it and you look at the object name, we have load printer 1. The second one would be load printer 2. We then have another option called, well, it's a pretty large name, but it says breakup job by number of pages. And then we can say separate form per printer, and we want to say no. So now, this information is used in the same type of way that I demonstrated before with the script. Basically, we use the name of the object to gather the data within it on your form so that we can use that in the script. Now, if I go to Options, Script Debugger, I'm going to show it. We can see here, I have a script called Printer Balance. And I guess a quick question is, I don't remember what everybody said last week. Does anybody have any kind of background in programming or scripting at all?
No.
It's been a long time ago.
Okay. So what I'm going to do then, I'm going to add a breakpoint here. First, what I want to do is configure my form. So what I'm going to do is choose which printers I'd like to use to print to. And I'm going to choose this one. So I'm just going to copy the name of that. And right-click and edit text. And here I can just enter the name of that printer. I also need another printer. Let's just say this one. So I have my 2 printers here now. And I'm not going to worry too much about these other 2 options. Break up job by number of pages. Basically, if you're printing 100 pages, You can break your print stream into separate documents to go to different printers if you needed to. So what I'm going to do is say File, Print. I'm going to save my changes. You can see there's 100 pages in this file. Oh, page setup. Let me close some of these. Printer balance. Okay. Let me try one thing. I believe I need to make a change quick. And we'll see what this actually does a little bit later. That's another topic of the registry. I'll say File, Print. Okay. So here we go. So what I did was, on my script for printer balancing, I just right-clicked, and I clicked on Add Breakpoint. And what this is going to do is basically when I clicked on File, Print, as soon as the script hit this line of code here, it just stops and allows me to kind of step through it line by line. So the first thing that we do is get the spooler directory. Here we can see we have 4 Go subs. This is covered more in, I guess, the scripting class, but basically a Go sub is similar to a subroutine or a function. So the first thing we're going to do is get printer list, and if we follow this, you can see it goes to this section here called Get Printer List. And you can see this loop. So basically we're going to loop on our form while underscore load printer and then a number, so it's going to count from 1, 2, 3, and so on until it doesn't find any more, while this is not 0, so while we actually have a printer name. I'm going to add a breakpoint here. So the script is going to check our form for a printer name, and we can even add maybe a watch here. 1. And you can see the variables that I want to look at start with underscore because they come from the form, and then the name of the object on the form. So we can see the first printer I chose was Matt's printer, and the second one was the 2500. So when I step through this, we're basically just getting the list of printers from our form. So now what it's going to do, we have our list of printers. Now it's going to find out how many jobs are in each printer. So let's go to our printers, and we can see right now all of my printers are empty. I'm going to go to my Matt's printer. This is the first printer I chose to try and print to. And I'm just going to print a few test pages. just put a few documents in the print queue. So here we see Matt's printer has 3 documents, and the other printer I selected has 0. So now we're going to go through each printer and basically see how many pages are in each of them. This might look a little bit complicated, but we're basically just going to say each printer. So for each printer, we're going to get how many print jobs are in it, find how many pages, and the current status. So let's add that to our watches as well. So L pages and L status. And here you can see, after I ran through this function here, you can see the number of pages is currently 3 for the first printer that I selected. We then go to the second printer, and we can see the pages has changed to 0. So now that we have the number of documents in each printer, we can then go to the function where we pick the lowest. Here we're basically going to go through each printer, checking if it's the lowest number of pages, and then we're just going to select the one with the lowest number. I'm going to kind of skip over this part. And the last part that it does is basically it creates a new spooler file. So if we look at our spooler folder, we can see here, some of these are old. Let's take a look. I can delete this. Here we can see a file, and when I open this file, let's just say maybe Notepad, here we can see the printer that is selected was the Ricoh Officio 2500 RPCS. And this is because if I look at my printers, the 2 printers that I chose were the 2 here. And Matt's printer has 3 documents, while the other printer has 0. Now let's say I delete these, and I go back to my printers. I'm going to cancel everything in the first one, and instead I'm going to put a few documents in the second printer here. So now the second printer has 4 documents, and I'm just going to print this again. This time I'm not going to step through everything. Now when we look at the text file, we can see on the first line, instead of the 2500 like before, we have Matt's printer. And this is because Matt's printer now currently has the lowest number of documents. So the printer balancing or load balancing is similar to like a decision maker type of script. we have a few drivers, and we're going to look for the RFM. Let's see. Here we have one of our scripts. Here we can see, if I open the script in Notepad, exactly what the script contains. So this is just one dialog. And I can even open the script directly if I just open it. And this is just the dialog that I was kind of demonstrating with last week, just showing how we can modify the advanced print driver. Now if I was to maybe rename this to the old. The first one I'm going to show is a script that allows the user to send a document to multiple places. So I have my script updated with the sample that we have here. And I'm just going to open Notepad. I'm also going to make sure that I have my printer settings correct. I can go to Printers and Faxes, and on my Reform printer, I'm going to go to Properties and Configuration page. And here I'm going to configure, and I want to make sure I have this Prompt for Options checkbox enabled. This checkbox basically tells Reform that it should execute that script, so the script can display a dialog, or maybe process something in the background. So I already have the option enabled, so I could say OK and minimize this. And now I just have my sample Notepad file. I can say File Print, and I'm going to select the FabSoft printer. Here you can see this dialog appears. And this dialog can be customized. I basically just replaced the sample I had from last week with this one. This dialog is also written in the scripting language. And here you can see I have three, destinations. The first being Document Mall, which is an archive system. The second is Printer Options, and the last is Rico Fax. So basically what this is trying to demonstrate is I'm printing my document. In this case it's just a Notepad file. And I want to determine exactly where this document's going to go. So here for the title I can enter, let's say, Reform Training Day 2. Description would be Advanced Print Driver Sample. I can then select different directories as well as document types, which is basically how you can submit documents to Document Mall. Is you select the directory, the document type, and attributes. I can then select printers. Let's say I wanted to go to, here it just says Printer Z, and I could say Staple. And last, I can send the document to a fax. And the memo here could be training, the fax number 123. And let me just make sure that I have Notepad. Okay. So I'm going to say OK. I'm going to unpause this. And here we could see several files were created. One of these files contains the information about the printer that I selected. You can see the file name says Print, Fax, or Document Mall. So here you can see the data I selected was Printer Z. My username that I logged in with, if you look at, it doesn't display here. The username that I'm currently logged in with is admin. If we look at the fax, you can see I typed in training as the memo, and this is the fax number I've entered. And for Document Mall, I chose folder B, document type 2, and the other data that I've typed in. And this is all gathered with the document itself. So you can see here I have my data stream. Basically the text I typed was, "This is my sample." But we also have the image at the top of this data stream, so we can use the image as well. If I was to open this in the designer, actually, let me start a new form. Here we can see if I put the image across the top, kind of like what we did last week. I can close my script editor. Here we can see, if I stretch this out all the way, the image that I printed from Notepad. So not only do I have the image and the data, but I also have the information that the user entered. And this is all in the spooler now. We will possibly go over STL files today as well. You can notice that the extension of these files is .scl for all of these, and that's kind of important. That's probably a topic that we'll cover in a little bit too. But basically, this demonstrates the idea that the data stream can be combined with user input to determine where the document goes, or possibly how it should look, anything of that type of nature. Any questions about what I just kind of demonstrated? Okay. So I'm just going to delete these quickly. And I still have it open in Designer. Now what I'm going to do is, instead of using the document wall sample, I'm going to change my script to ask for a check number. Oops, this needs to go to full screen. So now when I print my document, I'm going to say File Print. We can see I changed my script, and you can see the dialog is updated as well. So here it says, please enter a starting check number. I'm just going to say, let's say 55, or maybe 57. I'm going to click Process. It's going to ask me, am I sure? I'm going to say yes. And we can see here in my spooler folder, we have the data stream as well again. Now the script can be configured to do several different things. What we're going to look at now is basically open one of those scripts and kind of demonstrate what it does. Basically, you can see that we're checking, or we're looping several times depending on the user's input, because if we run this script again, if I was to enter maybe a letter, it'll tell me that it's not a correct